Hey folks, this is George with Apogee Electronics, and very excited today to show you through how to set up a direct monitoring workflow with any of the Apogee Desktop interfaces, such as Boom, Symphony Desktop, or Duet 3. So let's get into it. In order to set up direct monitoring, first we should think about why this is useful. Well, direct monitoring is another way of being able to make sure that as you're recording, things feel good to you as the performer. If you are familiar with something like Logic, the way we typically deal with recording is we set up a track, we arm it, we make sure that the input is passing into the software, and if we care to hear ourselves at the time of recording, we typically turn on the input monitoring feature, and that allows the software to allow our headphones or our monitors to hear what we're doing. With a lot of computers, they're so fast that that's an incredibly good thing to do with USB interfaces, especially if we're using things like amp simulators or any kind of heavily time-based effect, such as tremolo or time delay that's going to influence your performance. However, if you're a vocalist and you're trying to get the most inspiring sound possible, you might really enjoy the feeling and immediacy of taking any perceivable latency out of it. If you're not familiar with the term latency, you can really think about this as the delay that it takes for sound to travel from one place to another. While this exists inside of natural sources, such as what you'd hear if you went to a big amphitheater, the way we think about it in the context of recording is anything that has a delay that's going from the audio interface and communicating to the computer, back to the audio face and to your speakers or headphones. While these numbers are typically negligible, especially with lower buffer settings on the computer, at higher settings these can be distracting, and so a direct monitoring strategy can be super helpful to making sure that you stay in the moment, undistracted by any feeling of delay as you're recording. So let's take a look about how we would set this up. First things first, we're going to hop into Apogee's Control 2 software with our interface connected. Once here, we're going to take a look at our output section of the app. In that section, we typically have the computer set to listen to what we call playback 1 and 2. And while that's a great option for listening to music or mixing, while you're tracking, you might actually find benefit in another one of those features. For example, if I'm using headphones, I'll go to the playback 1-2 listed just above that headphone HP section of the software. Once I've clicked on this section, I'll see an option there to choose things like hardware inputs, direct mixers, or even following the other source. In my case, we're going to take a look at this direct mixer option. The direct mixer allows us to combine sound and route it differently. So rather than listening from our computer exclusively, we're able to also listen to what's happening from the microphones that are coming into the interface, and without even going through the latency incurred of the cables traveling to the computer and back to the interface, we can have that sound go straight to our headphones, so it feels like basically plugging a mic into a PA. Once I'm in this mode, anything that's set up in my mic, I'm going to start hearing directly passing into my headphones, but as a performer, I might want to go a step further and have things sound even better. And with the DSP built into Apogee's desktop interfaces, we have some really good options for sweetening up our sound source. To do so, we're going to go to our channel section of the mixer, and in here we'll find a button that says Effects. Once I've clicked on Effects, I'll see this plugin come up. This is one we call ECS, standing for EQ, compression, and saturation. It's a really good all-in-one plugin that gives you all the essentials that mixing engineers have used on channel strips for years. And this one in particular, the EQ points are chosen to emulate one of Bob Clearmountain's SSLs. Once we've got things sounding good, and I've got this little bit of extra sweetening on, we can tell if that feature is engaged because of the purple icon that will show up highlighting the effects section. Now we're in direct monitoring. We don't need to have input monitoring turned on inside of our DAW, so now I'm ready to record. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks, y'all.